Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my number 2 pick for my top 10 Transformers list. Not many to go now. And my number 2 pick is Transformers Animated Leader Class Ultra Magnus. Specifically, this is the Roadbuster version. And the reason this is on the list over the normal one is because the Roadbuster version was the only one released in Europe as far as I'm aware. If I had the blue one, that's the one I choose. But for the most part, the color scheme doesn't matter to me too much. It's the same figure overall. And yeah, let's get straight into it. This guy in vehicle mode is really cool. He's just I'm not even sure what to describe this type of vehicle. It's kind of like missile launch kind of platform type thing. Big kind of army truck. Just really cool, you know, like obviously it's animated, so they're not trying to go for a super realistic kind of vehicle mode and stuff like that. But you know, you've got the lights painted, you've got a decent amount of paint here with all the various sections. Green and this kind of tan orange color with a little bit of yellow and then kind of a transparent blue. It just looks really nice. It's not like crazy painted or anything like that, but it's nicely detailed. You know, you've got 8 wheels. Clear to see it's a Transformer underneath, clear fists, clear torso, clear legs, but not too bad. And then on the back, you know, again, yeah, it's a big figure, there's a lot going on here. Bit hard to hide some of these parts here, but it's fine. The hammer, which is the big main weapon, stores here on the back. You just kind of like attach it in between the legs, fits in very nicely. But there are definitely some other features here. This is a leader class, back when the leader classes were doing a lot of things. Mine's currently out of battery, so I can't show you the sounds, but you know, it just makes some like siren-y noises, and then I think in robot mode it says something like I'm Ultra Magnus, or Ultra Magnus here, I think it says. But the cool thing about this guy is obviously all the extra features. The first one, we've got you can open these sections. And he's got some kind of minigun type things there, and there's one on both sides, and you can see they just kind of come together, double minigun action at the front. But that's not all at the front, because you can open up the front section here, pull these out, and then close it back up, and then with these you basically just pull the guns out the front, and then you can kind of flatten them down like that. And you've got even more guns at the front. Then you can also move these around on this section, and these are other guns. So you can just have them kind of facing at the front as well. But again, that's not even everything. You can then move this up, pull that out the side, and do the same on the other side. And yeah, look at the amount of guns it's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 4 barrels in each of these. It's like 18 kind of guns. It's pretty crazy, and it's just really cool looking, just that you can do this in vehicle mode if you really want to. You can't really do much with the hammer in this mode, it's just there for storage, but rolls pretty nicely. And you know, of course, the allure of this figure is not the vehicle mode, but they do a decent job at just having all this stuff work. He looks a lot better in robot mode. But I just love all these features. Like, this is part of the reason why I place it so high on my list. Just I love the fact that it has all of these weapons that, you know, don't really affect the transformation. They're just transformation little bits there for the sake of having extra weaponry, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, let's get to transforming this guy now. And the first thing to do is just separate the legs and take out the hammer. Just move that out to the side. We'll come back to that later. We just kind of move these guns out of the way so they won't get in the way of everything. Then what you do is you just grab this, basically this green section here from the orange, and we just kind of try to pull this out like that, and then you just fold it down. There's a hinge here and here, and you just kind of fold it around like that, and then we do the same on the other side. And fold it down. Then what we can do is we can just kind of unfold the legs. You can show it better here. It just tilts out, you know, they just fold in on themselves like so. And then to actually finish off the legs, all you do is you can see hinge here and then a hinge here. It's just you double hinge it and switch it from being like attached in here to being attached in over here. And that's really nicely, it just fits nicely into place, and he's got the 4 wheels on the back of his legs, and it just fills them in very nicely. But I made a mistake there. Don't forget to bring the toes out. I just did there. But very easy to just fix that. Bring the other toe out, and we fix the other leg. And there are his legs done, and then you just gotta fix these sections here. And then you can have these up or down if you want. I tend to just leave them like this. But yeah, you can see basically his whole kind of rest room here. But that's the way it is kind of still in vehicle mode. What you do is you take this section here, fold it in like that, do the same here. You just move these little tabs out of the way. These get a little bit annoying, they just kind of end up getting in the way, and they're kind of unnecessary, they're just tiny little parts. But then you split the front in half. You know, he's pegged together very tightly, which is nice, but it's just really just, some of them are just like, oh, wow, that was pretty hard to pull apart. I felt like I was almost breaking it, but tightly put together. And then all you do is just you have it in this position, and then you just kind of tilt it around like that, double hinge. Do the same on this side. Then you can just tilt the arms down, and then one of the key parts of the transformation here is this bit tilts back, and you can see that this black peg is going to peg in here, like so. Same on the other side. And then you just kind of move them around into the right position, but we're still not done with the shoulders. Still a little bit more transformation to go. I'll just move the camera up a bit more now so I can show it off a little bit better. And then this one's a little bit hard to show, but you could sort of see it in there, the hinge in there. All you're trying to do is basically get this whole orange section up a little bit, and you just kind of do it like this. You just kind of maneuver it up so it's kind of more in a position like this, but you still have to bring it up a little bit more, like so it's like that. And that just gives him that kind of really bulky shouldered look that he has in the show. And yeah, that's basically him transformed. Then the only thing you do with the back here is you just bring these kind of up and around, and you can store these just kind of on the back like that if you want to just have them like hidden. Or, but I suppose I'll show them like that for now, just in a kind of normal kind of resting position. But yeah, there is Transformers Animated Leader Class Ultra Magnus. Really impressive, you know, not quite as big as like Superion was trying to show him off in combined mode, but still a very big figure worthy of being the leader of the Autobots in Transformers Animated. Color scheme is a bit odd, you know, definitely like having, you know, the typical kind of army colors of, you know, the kind of orangey tan, black and green, and then just all these kind of random bits of blue. You know, his head is the same color as the kind of old Ultra Magnus, the other one. It just seems weird that they didn't go all out, that these side skirt bits are still from the original. Like they just didn't feel the need to mold them in, say, like green or orange. Same with the head, it just seems weird. But yeah, it looks overall really cool. Not much kibble, you know, you can say that these weapons are kibble, but the way they're used means that they're not really that awkward. But let's get into articulation quickly. Head can move a little bit, you know, you can move it side to side, but not really much else. The gimmick, you press this to activate his kind of lights and sounds, means that he kind of moves his head up and down like he's speaking, but it's not really an articulation point. The shoulders can go full 180 all the way around, though the kind of giant shouldered bits get in the way a little bit, but they don't really restrict it. thanks to transformation, you can move the kind of joints out like this as well, and they go out 90 degrees. The elbow goes 90 degrees, front and back if you needed to. All very loud ratchets, and then you can open the hand. No wrist swivel, no bicep rotation, but he's a big transformer. He's not the guy I think you need massive articulation from. Nothing at the waist, since there's like a kind of a sound box and stuff like that in here for all the electronics. Legs go forward all the way you need, back all the way you need. About a 90 degree knee bend. So there's a swivel just above the knee, which is nice. And then with the legs, you can tilt the toe kind of back and forward a little bit, which helps when you're trying to kind of pose him, maybe like walking forward a little bit, just to get that extra little bit of stability. But for the most part, he's a guy you sort of have just standing up normally. And yeah, let's bring the hammer into play. This is very interesting, actually. It's stored like this. Let's move him out of the way for a second. It's stored like this in vehicle mode. You just fold the handle down so it's full sized, and then you also activate it a bit. And all you do is you just hold the black staff bit and then push up on the green bit, and it pops out like that. So it's the full sized hammer, and it's pretty cool. It just locks back into position, and you can do it again. And it's kind of fun for kind of play as well, because it means that like if you ever hit something with it, it is kind of spring loaded, so you get that kind of like effect of like you've really just hit something hard. So that's pretty cool. And then in terms of him holding it, you just put it in, open his hand, put it in, and you can hold it perfectly fine in his hand, and it looks pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a cool weapon for sure. I love the kind of that instead of putting like a spring-loaded gimmick on Ultra Magnus, they obviously have the light and sounds. They just put it on his weapon, and it works very nicely, very effective. It's stored up small for vehicle mode, and then it's very quickly transformed into the full-on battle mode. But speaking of full-on battle mode, I showed it off in vehicle mode, and you can still do it in this mode as well. So you just pull out these bits at the front here, you then open up here, you open these up, sorry about this, it's just really hard to keep them on camera just because my camera's focus is such a small area, but you can see that. And then, as I was saying before, this is the bits on the back stored in their kind of like just not using them position, but you can very easily just kind of move them up around and tilt them so they're facing out the front, kind of beside his head. And I'll just pop out the other weapons as well, and have him completely kind of weaponized, ready to go. And then we'll also give him his hammer for full battle mode. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, look at this guy. Again, just the amount of weapons, like 4 giant cannons beside his head, you know, a minigun and like 3 cannons on each shoulder, holding a giant hammer that can like control electricity, and he's huge. It's just, again, the character instantly comes across that this is a military commander of the Autobots. He's big, he's got tons of weaponry. This is the guy, and that's one of the main reasons I like animated stuff so much. It just, so much character just comes across just in how it looks. Like, you don't need to know who they are. The figure and the design tells you who they are without even having to know the story that they're actually from. Of course, I prefer if this was the kind of standard blue version, because as I said, the color is a little bit odd. The blue doesn't work so well for me with the rest of it. But and so that, in that sense, it's not the best repaint, but I still think it's a really cool figure overall. It's decently articulated for a figure so big, and because he is such a kind of big character, you don't expect him to be the most kind of agile character with the insane levels of articulation. It does mean like he's a little bit difficult to kind of pose incredibly effectively. Yeah, in terms of just like getting his legs into a position that like gives him like a really dynamic pose. Like this is probably around the best you can get in terms of like any sort of like action pose. And that's pretty decent. You know, all of his weapons are out. A bit of a battle stance, holding his hammer. Very nice. But yeah, that's my number 2 pick. It's just the biggest figure that's going to appear on my list. There's only one to go, and it is a smaller figure, I will say that. And yeah, I won't say anything else more about my number 1 pick. I'll have a video about that tomorrow to finish up this series. But in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on Leader Class Ultra Magnus. But for now, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.